Okay, so when we sit down to meditate, we begin to notice something, really practice noticing something that has always been happening, but that usually goes unseen. It's happening in the background of our mind. Okay, often it's unconscious, and this is that moment by moment, every single moment, the mind is constantly categorizing our experience. The mind is saying, this feels good, it's pleasant, I want to get it, I want more of it, I want to keep it. The mind is saying, this feels bad or it's unpleasant, it wants to keep it away, it wants to get rid of it. It might be in meditation, a sharp pain in the knee, a dull ache in the back, an itch that begs to be scratched, or it could be a wave of calm suddenly, or the memory of a meditation that was peaceful in the past, or it might be a beautiful image in the mind, or a sense of joy or spaciousness. But what's really important is that here's the interesting part: whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, the mind reacts in the same way, with grasping toward what it likes, toward resistance toward what it doesn't like. Buddhist practice calls these two habits greed and aversion. I like to think of them as the energy of pushing and pulling, wanting what isn't and not wanting what is. And it's really important to remember that these are ancient survival strategies. They're wired into the nervous system, but in meditation, we get to see that they are also the root cause of our inner dis-ease, our unease. We tend to think that the problem is the unpleasant sensation, all right? Or that our happiness depends on the pleasant lasting forever. But the Buddha pointed out something really radical. It's not the experience, it's not the event, it's not the condition, all right? It's not the experience that is causing us suffering. It's our relationship to the experience. When we cling to what's pleasant, that pleasure turns into tension and a fear of loss. When we're aversive, right, when we're not wanting, we're pushing away energy, that aversion turns to discomfort. It turns discomfort into suffering and contraction. So when we meet the pleasant without clinging, that pleasant can really be fully enjoyed. When we meet unpleasant without aversion, it can be fully allowed. In both cases, the heart remains free. So today's practice is about seeing this clearly. We'll anchor the mind in the breath, and then open to whatever arises, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, and really being curious and watching closely how the mind and heart and body leans toward or away. And in time, gently training a new way of relating with our experience, a new way of being. In time, we discover the source of ease was never in changing the moment. It was in changing how we meet the moment. So let's go ahead and start our practice. Start by finding a position that's both stable and comfortable. If you're sitting up, the spine upright but not rigid. And just notice if your hands are resting, eyes closed, or if you leave them open, just softly opened and unfocused. So just take a few deep breaths. And really allow the body to settle into stillness. Now let the breath return to its natural rhythm. And I invite you to set a gentle intention, just a very gentle mental whisper that I will meet each moment as it is with awareness and kindness. I'll meet each moment as it is with both awareness and kindness. Bring attention to the breath. Notice where you feel the breath most clearly. The nostrils, the rise or fall of the chest or belly. And just for the next minute, choose one spot and rest your attention there. As you rest with the breath, notice, be curious what else is here. Perhaps a pleasant feeling, warmth, calm, relaxation? Or is it an unpleasant feeling? Tension, pressure, restlessness? Or perhaps a neutral feeling? Whatever arises, begin to observe your mind and body's relationship to it. Just observe with both awareness and just kindness. If the sensation is pleasant, be curious. Can you sense a subtle leaning in? Perhaps a wish for that pleasant sensation to last? What does it feel like, all right, this clinging in the body? What does this clinging feel like in the mind? And just be curious. See if you can notice an unpleasant sensation somewhere in the body. And if you can find one, just be curious and notice. Is there any part of you that is wanting to push it away? A wish for it to end? What does this aversion feel like in the body? What does this aversion feel like in the mind? Allow the breath to remain in the background if needed, or perhaps bring it forward when the mind feels pulled. If you sense that some grasping is present in the mind and body, see if you can loosen its hold. Actually, just letting the pleasant be there without needing to keep it. Right? Often that grasping will loosen its hold on you. But just be curious. And if there's any place in your entire body mind that you might notice that there's resistance present, letting that unpleasant be there without needing it to be pushed away, often it will loosen its hold on us. So just be curious. Now, notice how both pleasant and unpleasant it shifts. It changes, dissolves, reappears. Can you just let them arise and pass like weather in a vast sky? Bring kindness into the observation. You might silently say, "This too belongs." Or you might silently say, "It's like this." Or, and again, "It's like this." Be curious right now, what's the most dominant sensation in your awareness right now? Whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, no matter where it is or how big or small, just perhaps zoom in to the details. Where in the body is this sensation the strongest? Does that sensation have edges? Does it have a center? Does it move? Now, zoom out. Let the sensation be part of a larger field that includes sounds, breath, space. The sensation is just part of this larger field. It doesn't take up the whole field of your awareness. It's just one portion of your awareness. Whether an experience is pleasant or unpleasant, see if you can release the idea that this experience, this moment, needs to be different than it is. Pleasant or unpleasant, just see if it can be allowed to be enough. Notice in your heart center how it might feel to be free of this chasing and free of this resisting, even for just one breath, or 2 breaths, or 3 breaths. And notice if expectation is present, whether the mind is waiting for an unpleasant experience to leave, or maybe it's pleasure to stay. It's anticipating the pleasure if that pleasant will stay. See if you can release even that expectation and just allow this moment to be complete as it is. Bring awareness to your entire body. Is there anything in the body and mind right now that the mind is labeling as unpleasant? Be curious if it can just be simply a sensation without the need for a label of unpleasant. Just a simple sensation. Be curious on how this affects the body and mind. If there is a pleasant sensation or if a pleasant experience arises, is it possible to simply enjoy it without grasping onto it? See if that affects the body and mind. If unpleasant arises again, can it simply be allowed without resistance? And if the mind feels restless, perhaps bring in the breath as an anchor. Whatever is here right now, whether it be pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, allow it to just float in the field of awareness. And be curious, what happens when you soften around an experience, especially one that is unpleasant? What happens? And whether that be now or any part of your meditation, if there's an unpleasant experience in your body and you move, have that movement be an experiment and observe. Did the unpleasant sensation vanish? Did it shift? Did it go away and then return? Let that change be part of the practice. Allow the observation of the change be part of the practice. Notice the difference between a sensation and the mind's comments about the sensation. If you find some sensation that's unpleasant, see if you can mentally just peel back that label, unpleasant, and be curious. And the same goes for pleasant and the mind's commentary. See if you can just peel back the label and allow a sensation to just be sensation. And be curious on how this affects the mind and body. So go ahead and rest again with the breath. Steady, familiar, simple. And even if pleasant or unpleasant is still present, notice is the heart more open, more spacious? Is the mind less entangled? No judgment, just curiosity. And then slowly come back fully to the breath. Feel the body sitting here or laying down. Notice the sounds around you. Gently open your eyes and take a moment to notice the effects of this practice. Pleasant will come, unpleasant will come. Freedom comes not from controlling them, but from meeting them with a heart that doesn't cling and doesn't resist. Thanks for your practice.